Campbell Brown, no bias, no bull starts right now. Campbell.
Thanks, Lou. Hi there, everybody. For Barack Obama, today was just so ordinary after such an extraordinary night. How did he spend it? Well, he had breakfast with his daughters. He went to the gym. He made thank you calls. But this was not just another day. We also know the transition to power is well underway, and we're going to have all the details on that front for you tonight. First, though, take a look at this, because we hardly ever see a moment like this. Hopefully, we will see that moment when the whole country comes together, a moment when people everywhere join together to celebrate. This is Chicago, 200,000 people at the very moment that Obama was projected as the winner of the 2008 election. It's as if a lightning bolt of both joy and relief flashed around the world, people rushing out into the streets. It happened from coast to coast last night. Let's take a look. This is New York City in Times Square. And then let's look at Washington in front of the White House. Secret Service officers were overheard saying they had never seen anything like this, though this scene also appeared to be about ushering out the current occupant. It happened from the East Coast to the furthest points west in Hawaii and beyond. At this one shining moment, much of the world very much won on the streets of Asia. I think we have a picture of Japan we can show you, and at Barack Obama's boyhood school in Indonesia, and in his father's homeland of Kenya. Outside our own windows here in New York, we heard cheering. We saw people standing together, laughing all over the world last night. People watching a moment that made history.
This is our moment. This is our time to put our people back to work and open doors of opportunity for our kids, to restore prosperity and promote the cause of peace, to reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one.
In a speech delivered at midnight Eastern Time, the next president of the United States claimed his victory. He also told us about one of his supporters, 106-year-old Ann Nixon Cooper of Atlanta, was born when life in the South was so much different. Now she lived to see and vote for America's first African-American president.
After 106 years in America, through the best of times and the darkest of hours, she knows how America can change. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Obviously, a constant Obama campaign slogan, like a caption in many ways for his story. It also fits for Ann Nixon Cooper. And as of that one moment last night, America's story.
While we breathe, we hope. And where we are met with cynicism and doubt and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. We can.
First tonight, though, we begin, as always, with cutting through the bull. Campaigning is one thing. Actually running the country is quite another. And here on our show, we have tried during this campaign to do just what we promised, cut through the bull, give you an honest assessment of where the candidates stand, call them out when we think they're not being entirely truthful or not living up to their promises. With the campaign now over, our mission has not changed. We will be trying to hold President-elect Obama accountable in the very same way we tried to hold candidate Obama and candidate McCain accountable. During the campaign, President-elect Obama laid out a pretty aggressive agenda. He promised middle-class tax cuts, an all-inclusive approach to energy independence, near universal health care coverage, a responsible end to the war in Iraq, and no more partisan politics. We wish him the very best of luck with his agenda and with all the challenges that lie ahead. But we will also be keeping track of his campaign promises and how well he follows through during this transition to power, during the first 100 days and beyond. No bias, no bull. Of course, tomorrow, Barack Obama is expected to receive his first top-secret intelligence briefing, very similar to the ones provided now to President Bush. It will be a sobering reminder of what Obama is in for now that the campaign is over. And Candy Crowley is in Chicago. She has been awake for I don't know how many hours now, keeping her eyes on the president-elect. And Candy, walk us through it. How did he spend his first day? And walk us through his week, his coming week.
Well, low-key is the best way to describe today. I mean, after that huge crowd and that whole history-making night, today was very much behind the scenes. He began very low-key, breakfast with his family. He went to the gym, as he always does. Then he spent about 5 hours behind closed doors, we believe, with Joe Biden, who was still in town at the time, really doing the transition. This man has 76 days to put together a government and plan an inauguration. So he's got to put the people in place that can begin to make those decisions while he oversees the whole thing. So this is a very, very difficult task. So what they want to do is they want to do it pretty quickly. They want to get out, in particular, because of the economy and because of the two wars. They want those national security names out there. They want a Treasury Secretary, that sort of thing, just as a form of reassurance. And they've been looking at other transitions and believing that what they really need to do is begin to put those in place fairly quickly.
And Candy, do you have names, or am I getting ahead of the game a little bit here? Who are some of the top candidates for the cabinet?
There's so many names out there. The problem here is that inside the Obama campaign, they're not talking. So, but we don't lack for names out there. We see names like Larry Summers, who is an old Clinton appointee for the Treasury Secretary. We sometimes hear the name of Dick Lugar, a Republican senator from Indiana, for perhaps Secretary of State. Susan Rice, who has been at Barack Obama's side on foreign policy. Perhaps she'd be national security advisor. We're told that Obama is in particular looking at governors who don't have that much time left to serve. Kathleen Sebelius out of Kansas might perhaps be given a cabinet post. Janet Napolitano in Arizona only has 2 years left in her governorship. She's a possibility. We also hear the name Tom Vilsack, former governor of Iowa, who may be agriculture secretary. But again, these are names sort of tossed out into the atmosphere, and really at this point, they are not talking behind these closed doors.
All right, Candy Crowley for us tonight from Chicago. Candy, as always, thanks. As President-elect Obama preps for his new job, Washington obviously also getting ready for him. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice made an unusual appearance at today's State Department briefing to promise full cooperation during Obama's transition to power. She also made what she called a personal note. Listen to this.
As an African American, I'm especially proud because this is a country that's been through a long journey in terms of overcoming wounds and making race not the factor in our lives. That work is not done, but yesterday was obviously an extraordinary step forward.
Secretary Rice hardly alone in noting this historic moment. President Bush did as well while making his own pledge of a very smooth transition today. And our White House correspondent, Ed Henry, is here with me in New York tonight to talk about that. And Ed, he did have some nice words to say to his successor. Let's listen to a little bit of President Bush.
It'll be a stirring sight to watch President Obama, his wife Michelle, and their beautiful girls step through the doors of the White House. I know millions of Americans will be overcome with pride at this inspiring moment that so many have waited so long.
Very gracious words.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, look at these pictures. Okay, this is, I think we've got them here. This is the crowd that was gathered outside of the White House last night. Spontaneous gathering. You know, a crowd that's out there celebrating Bush getting the heck out of there. I mean, that had to have been a little bit strange for him in a way.
It was, but I talked to White House aides today who say, look, the president could not actually hear the singing and chanting in the White House residence. It was just a little far, even though it was in Lafayette Park. But as White House staffers and guests who were watching the returns went downstairs for smoking breaks or whatever, when you're on the North Lawn, you could hear it. And they say that it was phenomenal. And I talked to White House aides who say, look, even though our guy lost last night, seeing the sight of those people celebrating, we get the history of this moment. And that's what's significant. This president has been president for about 8 years now. His father was president. He understands the significance of this. And he also gets the fact that he only has one more chance here to have a good, exit and to show the American people he can be gracious on the way out.
One of the most crucial parts of the whole transition process has to do with national security. It's getting the new president up to speed on the things that, frankly, most of us don't even want to know about.
Absolutely.
The Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff today underlined the importance of this and promised things would be going smoothly. Walk us through how that's going to happen.
Well, look, there have been terror attacks in Glasgow and Madrid in election seasons and during transfers of power. So what I'm told by White House aides is President Bush has said in private, look, this is like handing off a baton. I don't want anyone dropping the baton, and I don't want anyone breaking stride. We need to make sure that we finish strong here in the final days and hand this off right. So he signed an executive order a couple of months ago, making sure that actually that then Senator Obama and Senator McCain were getting briefings a couple of months ago. And some of their incoming aides are actually going to get sort of quick FBI clearance so that they can get and hit the ground running, get information. They want to make sure that there's no problem here and there's no politics.
All right, Ed Henry for us tonight. Ed,
thanks.
Good luck down there in Washington with the new administration. John McCain stayed off camera, out of sight today, but a little over an hour ago, Sarah Palin's jet took off from Phoenix, heading back north, back home to Alaska. And that brings us to tonight's quick vote question. We want to hear from you on this. Did Governor Palin get a bum rap? Let us know with a quick vote. You can call 1-866-979-VOTE. You can also text yes or no at 94553. We're going to have the results a little bit later in the hour. Now, before Palin headed home, our Dana Bash asked her the question on everybody's mind. What about the next race, 2012?
Don't know what the heck's going to happen in 2012. Again, just very anxious to get back to work there in Anchorage and in Juneau, making sure that the people of Alaska are well served.
We're going to have a little more of Dana's interview there, including Palin's response to critics who called her a diva. You're going to want to hear that. But coming up next, how Obama won this thing. John King standing by with his magic map tonight to walk us through it. And you may remember this video by some Atlanta school kids. It went viral on the web. Coming up with the new president-elect, we wondered what they are thinking now. We're going to have it for you.
I said you can vote however you like. Yeah, Democratic left.
Tell me something. Why does my company have so many printers? Every time I turn around, there's another one wasting electricity, waiting for a print job, not to mention the stockpile of supplies. Give me one machine with outstanding productivity and functionality. With an LCD panel from Sharp that lets me preview scanned documents, plus an inner finisher that doesn't waste space. While you're at it, how about a sleek design? The Frontier series. From Sharp, work without limits.
Businesses are continually challenged by the winds of change. Our job is to anticipate and prepare for them, to lead a workforce in transition, to recruit and keep top talent ahead of the curve, to manage healthcare costs, to find strategic solutions that help you succeed in these challenging economic times. Human resource professionals meeting the challenges of a changing world.
Let's go ride a couple of dolphins. Now you can enjoy a dolphin play with every stay. An unforgettable opportunity to meet and greet the dolphins of Atlantis. Enjoy 2 dolphin experiences included with your special room rate, but only for a limited time. Call 1-800-ATLANTIS now for a dolphin play with every stay. 3 nights from only $2.99. Atlantis.
Hi, Patsy here. Today I'm going to show you a place where you can talk to your kids about drugs without any distractions.
What are we doing?
Kevin, do you know what weed is?
Get out of here, I'm naked.
Can't take no for an answer. Kevin, do you know what weed is?
You're so lame, get out.
Getting their attention's half the battle. We did that. Great progress here, guys.
Get out!
Don't be a patsy. Learn a better way at drugfree.org.
To those Americans whose support I have yet to earn, I may not have won your vote tonight, but I hear your voices. I need your help, and I will be your president too.
President-elect Obama there speaking to the 47% of voters who wanted John McCain to be the next president. What's fascinating tonight about Obama's historic victory is that all the pieces had to fit together in order to make this happen. Some surprising, others expected in this very compelling new chapter in American politics. John King over at the Magic Board tonight to show us how Obama won. And John, we saw a lot of red states go blue last night. Walk us through it. How did Obama do it?
We sure did, Campbell. This is a promise Barack Obama kept. to stretch the map and to change the map. And let me show you what I mean by that. He won with 53% of the vote, a 7-point lead over John McCain. Still a few votes to be counted. But look at this. Remember, he said he was going to do something, turn red states blue? Well, here's one place he said he would do it, Florida. Here's another, Virginia and North Carolina. The audacity of the strategy, Ohio and Indiana. And out here, with the growing Latino population, Barack Obama said he was going to put the Mountain West in play. Let me step across the camera. Excuse me for that. This is last night. The blue is Barack Obama's victory. Let's go back in time. Look at that. Look inside the circles. George W. Bush, George W. Bush, George W. Bush, George W. Bush again. Barack Obama this time. And how did he do it? Let's go inside some of these places to see just how he did it. In New Mexico, this is Barack Obama last night. Look at all this blue. Back in time, 4 years. Much less blue, a lot of red in there. Why? A huge influx of Latino votes for Barack Obama. Let's come over here to the state of Florida. This is 4 years ago. George W. Bush wins across the Central Strip, which is the most important part of the state of Florida in competitive races. Reaching across again to bring us up to last night. Look at the blue for Barack Obama. A huge turnaround in the state of Florida. Barack Obama wins with 51%. One more example, Campbell, and this one hurts the Republicans. Look at this blue circle down here. This is Hamilton County, Ohio. This is Cincinnati, the Republican city in the southwest corner. It was critical to Barack Obama last night. Hamilton County is the reason George W. Bush was reelected 4 years ago. Winning this county made the difference in the state of Ohio. So Barack Obama kept that promise. He turned a great number of red states blue. Now the challenge is to govern in a way that can keep them there.
John, you touched on this when you mentioned Latino voters out west. There were certain groups of voters, demographics here, that made this victory possible. How he connected with them in far greater numbers than John Kerry did in 2004. Walk us through the demographics a little bit.
I'm going to walk this way as we do that, Campbell. And again, just like turning those states, the reason you turn those states is because you turn some key demographics. And this is a lesson for the Democrats and a painful lesson for the Republicans right now. Let's look first at African-American voters. Perhaps no surprise here, but 95% for Barack Obama, just 4% for John McCain. You remember George W. Bush, how disappointed he was. He only got 9% and 10% in his 2 runs. The first African-American candidate for president, not a surprise, but that helped Barack Obama in a number of big battleground states. Now let's move on. Let's look at the Latino vote. This is what has Republican strategists most worried. Barack Obama winning by more than 2 to 1, 67% to 31% among the Latino vote, the fastest growing segment of the population. Critical, Campbell, out in those Mountain West states. And let's also look at this, and this is the one that everyone will study after this election, the white vote. Yes, John McCain won the white vote with 55%, but Obama's 43% is stronger than John Kerry 4 years ago, stronger than Al Gore 8 years ago. So Barack Obama, the first African-American candidate, won in many of those rural, blue-collar areas where many were skeptical after the Democratic primaries. Again, Campbell, this is a Democratic map if you look at it. The challenge for Barack Obama is to govern in a way that can keep it that way 4 years from now.
Absolutely. John King for us tonight. John, as always, thanks. And let's go right to our political panel now. Here tonight, CNN senior political analyst Gloria Borger, CNN political analyst and radio talk show host Roland Martin, an Obama supporter, and Republican consultant Alex Castellanos, who had supported John McCain. So, Gloria, he talked about this idea during the campaign over and over again, moving beyond the idea of red states, blue states. And looking at that map, he did it.
He did it. He did it, in fact, beyond the expectations of a lot of pollsters, carrying states like Florida, carrying states like Indiana, and in the Mountain West, he carried those states which we expected him to carry. He also, I think, Campbell, created a whole new electorate out there, younger, more diverse. And he also understood the importance of early voting, just like their campaign understood the importance of the caucuses during the primaries. When everything is counted, we may see that approaching 1/3 of all voters in this country voted early. And Barack Obama really got them to
They did. They
polls.
emphasized that.
Absolutely, and it was very important.
Alex, 53% was his number in terms of the popular vote, but you've still got 46% of Americans who supported John McCain. I mean, is it really a mandate? How do you govern given that split?
I think Republicans could take a refuge in a lot of arguments that say, hey, we hung in there a lot, you know, McCain did better than expected. All of that would be true, and all of that would mislead us and serve us very poorly. The Republican Party's exhausted. We've exhausted ourselves with our message. We don't know who we are. If we still believe in our principles, and I think most Republicans do, and that is freedom, individual liberty, you know, that people govern best when they govern themselves. If we still believe in those things, then A, litmus test. How do you talk about those things in a way that appeals to younger voters, to women, to a communications age electorate, a more diverse America than we've had before? How do you do those things in a way that talks about the future? Some elections are small. Some elections are about 100,000 cops, you know, that kind of things. This election was about America. Are we a nation on the decline? Or are we a nation that can soar in these new global frontier? Is that going to be a future that belongs to us? Barack Obama embodied hope and vision for that. We didn't. So Republicans have a job to do.
And it was about the diversity of this country.
Right.
And in terms of the coalition that was formed here, how much did race play a role in all of this? Gosh knows, we talked about it a lot going into it, Roland, whether or not it was going to play a role. How much did it?
Well, of course race played a role, because first of all, let's start from the beginning, all right? African Americans, largely behind Hillary Clinton, they said, look, we don't think the guy actually has a shot at winning. You go to Iowa, 95% white, they vote for Barack Obama. All of a sudden, literally overnight, African Americans say, wow, white folks may actually vote for the black guy. All of a sudden, that changes. He runs a race where he does not, where race is not front and center, but it is still the unspoken word there. He rides black support in the critical primaries and then picks up critical support other areas as well. And then, of course, when he begins to develop that message, then broadens it from there. But they also targeted Latino voters in those critical states, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado. You saw how they were able to use that. They put together a 21st century coalition. Now, you asked the question about a mandate. Well, look, George W. Bush, 53.4% in 1988. Bill Clinton never got that.
You just have to act
in 92,
like you have a mandate, by the way.
But the whole notion of a mandate, look, you're not going to see a Ronald Reagan blowout these days. The nation is very split. But based upon the last 4 elections, yeah, he got what could consider a mandate, even with that percentage voting against him, because again, we don't see elections where it's 55, 60%. You don't see it.
And Alex, you could argue that George W. Bush, even in 2000, governed in those early days as if he had a mandate. He certainly didn't.
All presidents do. And Barack Obama's mandate, it's for change. It's for Barack Obama. It's a personality-based mandate, but more than that, it's a mandate, move this country forward. This country's stuck. Move us forward. And so he's going to have a lot of support from both sides to move forward. Last night, remember the tone last night, how quickly we just moved like that from politics to something more serious. Everybody's looking, we all hope this guy does well, Republican or Democrat.
Right.
That's a mandate.
It wasn't a rock concert last night, and it wasn't a political rally. Suddenly he came on the stage, and he was the president-elect.
He was the post-partisan.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how long it lasts.
He's going to have more fights with his own party at first than he will with Republicans.
Which is not a bad thing.
We'll see. Not a bad thing
Hang
for him.
tight, guys. Gloria, Roland, Alex, we've got a lot more to talk about when we come back. We are also going to talk about, or regardless rather of how you voted, is there anyone who is not sort of caught up in this raw emotion that Gloria and Alex were just talking about last night? It did wash over the nation in many ways and around the world when it was announced that Obama had won this election. Also, when we come back, those talented kids everybody has been talking about, we found them again today to see how they feel about the president-elect.
Just made history, y'all. That's right. That's good.
Plus, Senator Ted Stevens. He must have 9 political lives despite his recent felony conviction, 7 counts no less. Some may be surprised about how close he is to winning re-election.
Women are learning that as we age, it's harder to build bone density with calcium alone. Introducing Citrical Plus Bone Density Builder, the only calcium supplement with genistein, found naturally in soy and proven to significantly build bone density. Citrical.
Huh, these aren't mine. This is Bob at CDW. Leave a message.
Hey, Bob, it's Greg. Competition's starting to get a little too close. So we need to talk. Let's discuss network security. Call me. Hope you're well.
Hey, Greg. I'm here with your network and security specialist.
Greg, there are security updates for all your offices and some new features you'll like.
Perfect. Thanks, you guys.
With experienced technology specialists certified in everything from storage to security, CDW is there.
Greg, behind you.
That's pretty good.
When fire or water damage strikes your business, call the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
D.L. Hughley's new show really breaks the news.
Do any of you plan on watching D.L. Hughley Breaks the News next week?
D.L. Hughley Breaks the News. CNN Saturday night, 10 Eastern.
1-800.
My buildings are about letting the future in. And that means sunlight. Solar energy is a powerful thing. It's better for the environment and for business. My bank gets it.
Solar lending, now at Beneficial. Just one way we can help you energize your business. Starting now. Beneficial Bank.
It's my kind of weather.
You look great.
No, you. I would swear to God that you were puking again. Is your sister behaving herself?
You don't get to sit around deciding what I'm supposed to be like.
Hey, hey.
Rachel Getting Married, rated R. Now playing only in theaters.
Vote now for CNN's Hero of the Year at cnn.com/heroes.
More dramatic images of celebration last night as Barack Obama and the country he will lead made history. You are looking at scenes from Chicago, where Obama spoke, from Seattle, from New York, from outside the White House in Washington, D.C. Many happy faces last night when Obama went over the top and more than a few tears. Whether you were on the left or the right, you had to marvel at how far our country has come. And Tom Foreman is here now with a look back at the emotions of election night. Tom?
You know, Campbell, for all of the analysis, I think this really is the story of this election. Presidential elections are usually all about a few powerful people in very powerful places. And last night, this came down to millions of ordinary people in ordinary places erupting with joy. From the middle of the country outward to the coasts and over the oceans beyond, the celebration flowed. In front of the White House in Washington, D.C.
It's a new world, it's a new possibility, it's the beginning of something. It's the beginning of something great. We're really excited about it.
In a Harlem school.
I feel like I might want to run for president, even though that sounds kind of crazy, because I feel like I could stick to a change can happen, and I think I can change people's lives.
In a California restaurant.
King would say, "My dream has come true."
And back in Chicago, where it all began.
I'm very excited. I feel like our country is going to move towards something greater and bigger and brighter than we ever thought possible.
I feel so elated. I can't believe that he won. He spoke at my high school graduation. I'm so excited.
You spoke at your high school graduation?
Yes, in Hyde Park. I grew up in that neighborhood. I'm so, oh my God, I'm thanking God right now.
How do you feel?
Barack Obama ran on a promise of change. And although great challenges lie ahead, because of this one night, for many, he has already delivered. That's why I think this really is the story of this election, Campbell, because the simple truth is, I went to Times Square last night, and I walked among so many people who were so excited. I think many people who didn't even support Barack Obama because the color of his skin mattered, but not enough to keep him from winning. And that made a big difference to a lot of people.
And you saw it, and I saw it in my neighborhood when I got home, and everybody was telling stories anecdotally about people just spontaneously coming outside to have this sort of communal experience.
We'll still have all of our political differences. We'll have that. But this was a moment that said one of our differences has changed this much.
Tom Foreman for us. Thanks for doing that, Tom. Appreciate it. Still ahead, a lot more to talk about. A lot of people wondering about Sarah Palin's plans for 2012. So we asked her, and what does she say to her critics who called her a diva? One-on-one with Dana Bash. That is coming up. And then later, the Atlanta school children that everybody was talking about, they made one of the most memorable videos of the campaign. Now they tell us what they think of the election results. Here's a quick preview.
I'm just so excited that this is the first black president. It's just great to me. I love it.
Also coming up tonight, tonight's Bullseye, 106 years in the making.
The Cadillac Red Tag event. Right now, you'll find unprecedented values on our best-selling luxury models. From the award-winning Cadillac CTS to the legendary Escalade, now's the time to move up to Cadillac. During the first ever Cadillac Red Tag event, the price on the tag is the price you pay, providing incredible values like this. See your Cadillac dealer.
From Walt Disney Pictures.
I feel alive!
Comes the biggest. It'll be huge, man. Huge. Most anticipated.
Let it begin!
Comedy event of the season.
Bolt! 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 Bolt the super dog!
On November 21st.
You're part of a TV show.
That's preposterous.
None of your powers are real.
You got your head stuck pretty good, huh, guy?
No powers?
You're crazy!
No problem.
There's a guard. I'll snap his neck.
Bolt. Rated PG. Presented in Disney Digital 3D. Opens everywhere November 21st.
Yoink!
Activon for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache. Activon, ultra-strength pain relief in a convenient applicator, no messy creams or gels. Activon, applied directly where it hurts for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache. Activon, powerful pain relief.
Metal Cone! Let's go! Hurry! Metal Cone! Metal Cone! Metal Cone! Metal Cone!
Dude, why is your mom driving us to MetalCon?
Remember when I bought us all snowboards on that credit card and never paid it back? Well, I guess they check that stuff out when you apply for a car loan.
Afterwards, we'll all go out for ice cream.
Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov.
So check this out. You saw it, of course, from coast to coast. Headlines tell the story. The newspapers themselves are already collector's items. For the first time in years, you had to really hunt to find a New York City newspaper today. People actually lined up to buy them, and they sold out quick. Overslept this morning? Well, there's always eBay. Still ahead, did voters send a charter member of our Rogues Gallery back to Capitol Hill yesterday? Well, sort of. Actually, it's complicated. We're going to explain that when we come back. But first, Randy Kay joins us with the briefing.
There is other news today, believe it or not, besides the presidential election. Campbell, California voters dealt a devastating blow to backers of same-sex marriage. Proposition 8 was approved, 52 to 48%, meaning up to 18,000 same-sex couples who thought they were legally married are now in limbo. Same-sex marriage bans also passed in Arizona and Florida. Author Michael Crichton has died of cancer. He was best known for writing Jurassic Park and the Andromeda Strain. He also created the long-running TV drama ER. Michael Crichton was 66. And Wall Street plunged today on some gloomy economic news. The Dow Jones Industrials dropped 486 points. That's more than 5%. The NASDAQ fell 98 points. It was the 12th largest one-day loss in history.
All right, Randy Kay for us tonight. Randy, thanks. Appreciate it. So what do you have to do to be thrown out of office when you're from Alaska? We'll ask Senator Ted Stevens, a convicted felon on the verge of being reelected. And remember these kids?
Obama on the left, McCain on the right. We can talk politics all night, and you can vote however you like.
Wait till you hear what they had to say about this election.
Yeah, Democratic left, Republican right, November.
Want to get strong? Want to get lean? Want to get ripped? Well, now you can with Iron Gym, the multifunction training system that raises the bar on upper body exercise. Iron Gym turns any door into your own personal gym in just seconds. Its unique design wraps around your door frame and uses leverage, so there's no screws and no damage to your door. Start off with shoulder shredding, bicep burning chin-ups and pull-ups to develop and strengthen your shoulders, arms, back, and lats. And with 3 different grip positions, narrow grip, wide grip, and neutral, you can switch up your routine and keep challenging your muscles. But we're not finished there. Take it to the floor for deep push-ups for a greater range of motion and no strain on your wrists. And it's a sturdy base for tricep dips. Then finish your workout at the base of your door with gut-busting crunches for rock-hard abs and obliques. Iron Gym is the way to get in serious shape fast. In just minutes a day, you'll build lean muscle and get ripped. With Iron Gym, you can do pull-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, dips, and crunches. Every exercise you need to build a powerful upper body, and you'll see real results in just 30 days, guaranteed. Order Iron Gym today for just 2 payments of $29.99. As a bonus, you'll also get these hanging ab straps for a more explosive abdominal workout. But call right now and we'll cut the price in half. That's right, you'll get Iron Gym with the hanging ab straps for just 1 payment of $29.99. Take the Iron Gym Challenge, use it for 30 days, and if you don't see real results, return it for a full refund. But you've got to call now.
Call 1-800-686-5084 to order the Iron Gym for only $29.99 and get ripped with the Iron Gym Challenge. That's 1-800-686-5084. Call now.
You're looking right now at the Empire State Building here in New York City. It is lit up in blue in honor of President-elect Barack Obama. Obama was not the only winner tonight or last night. Democrats also expanded their majority on Capitol Hill. Here's a snapshot of the new balance of power. In the House of Representatives, Democrats picked up 19 seats. They'll hold 254 seats in the new Congress to the Republicans' 173. 8 races still undecided. Senate Democrats did not pull off that supermajority they were hoping for, but they did pick up 5 seats. The Senate balance now 56 Dems to 40 Republicans. 4 seats still up in the air at this hour, including one now occupied by a charter member of our Rogues Gallery. Yeah, you guessed it, Ted Stevens of Alaska. He's a convicted felon, but he's actually got a razor-thin lead in his Senate race, which would make him the first convicted felon to win re-election to the Senate, if that happens. Wow, welcome to Alaska, everybody. Gary Tuckman is in Anchorage to help us make a little sense of this. So he's corrupt and they love him anyway, Gary.
Well, here's the deal, Campbell. Ted Stevens faces the possibility of 35 years in prison after being found guilty last week of 7 felonies. But he believes he faces the possibility of 6 more years in the U.S. Senate. Despite the fact that John McCain and Sarah Palin told him not to run for re-election, suggested it, it appears he might have won. Big celebratory party in downtown Anchorage last night. Ted Stevens was there. He's in front of his Democratic challenger, the mayor of Anchorage, Mark Begich, by 3,300 votes. But there are still about 50,000 absentee and early ballots to count. It could take a couple of weeks, but it looks like Stevens could win. However, Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, many of them say they plan to expel him if he comes in. Takes a 2/3 vote, 67 of 100 senators. There will be at least 56 Democrats in the new Senate. And like I said, Republicans support that effort too. So he could be expelled. And if he is expelled, then there will be a special election in 60 to 90 days here in Alaska to fill his seat. But Stevens says he's innocent, says he hopes the judge overturns the verdict. He plans to appeal. Either way, the sentencing right now is scheduled for February. And here's what Stevens had to say last night.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, your support, and your being here. It means a great deal to Catherine and me and our family, and we're delighted with the results so far, and this, God, will still be that way when it's on November 21st. The last votes will be counted on November 21st.
Now, Campbell, one thing we should point out, you may be wondering why so many Alaskans would vote for a man who is convicted of 7 felony counts. Some of the Republicans told me, though, they were very practical about that. They think maybe he is a felon. However, they don't want a Democrat in that seat. They figure if they vote for him and he's expelled, then there will be another election, and then they'll get another chance to vote for a Republican.
Okay, let me just throw out one crazy possibility here. Might Sarah Palin, who has enjoyed her time on the national stage and may be looking for another way back onto the national stage, might she run in a special election to replace Stevens if he were in fact expelled?
Aha, not such a crazy possibility. She's the most talked about name. And here's the interesting thing. She could have control over her own destiny if she wants to do that, because in the 60 to 90 day period, there has to be a temporary senator named. And Sarah Palin, the governor, would name that temporary senator, and she could, if she wants to, name herself.
All right, I hope we're not like over our brains or like a lack of sleep going a little too crazy with this one, but it would be a fun story. Gary Tuckman for us tonight. Gary, as always, thanks. Coming up, our Dana Bash actually asked Sarah Palin about the charges that she has been facing from the McCain campaign, that she hurt John McCain's chances. And you heard about this woman in Obama's victory speech last night. Meet the 106-year-old voter whose story hits our bullseye. And
Obama on the left, McCain on the right. We can talk politics all night, and you can vote however you like. I said you can vote however you like.
the very latest from the Atlanta kids whose election song took the country by storm.
We decide, and you can vote however you like.
Super Shots. Salt happens. It's hidden in almost everything we eat. But as part of a potassium-rich, low-sodium diet, try new Promise Super Shots to help reduce the risk of high blood pressure. Potassium-rich diets flush sodium from your body, and Super Shots help as a good source of potassium. Salt happens. Fight back with Super Shots for blood pressure from Promise. Super Shots.
Insurance means a lot of things. Obviously, it means coverage, like life insurance and car and homeowners. It can also mean a feeling, being confident about something, like your future. In times like these, I'm glad I have both.
One of the most admired companies. One of the world's most ethical companies. Highest tier of service in financial services. The Hartford. Trusted since 1810.
Larry King next. Barack Obama makes history. What's next for America's first black president? Larry King Live. CNN coming up next.
I, King Julian, found a less costly way to talk to people in faraway places. Carrier pigeon. I know, I'm amazing.
I'm a penguin.
Look at how cute he is.
Hey, penguins can't fly.
Stretch your wings.
Communicate smarter for less. Comcast Digital Voice Local with more. Just $24.95 every month for unlimited local calls and 12 popular calling features.
Let's try another one.
Come on, you ain't done yet.
I can't, Mick. I won 12 rounds trying to buy a car at that dealership yesterday.
You big lug, you should have gone to Chapman Nissan.
Chapman Nissan?
Yeah, they got a huge selection of cars and trucks at great prices every day.
Right now at Chapman Nissan, lease an all-new Altima 2.5 for just $179 a month for 39 months. This deal's a knockout.
Yo, Chapman Nissan!
At the Philadelphia Airport Auto Mall.
Vote now for CNN's Hero of the Year at cnn.com/heroes.
After 106 years in America, through the best of times and the darkest of hours, she knows how America can change. Yes, we can.
President-elect Obama was talking about Ann Nixon Cooper, and for us, she hits the bullseye tonight. 106 years old, but young enough to get out and vote. Today, her life was a lot busier than usual. She told reporters, yes, she knew that Obama would be talking about her last night, that in fact she enjoyed watching, and she would be very proud if she could just meet him and shake his hand. And she may get the chance. When a reporter asked Ms. Cooper if she'd like to go to the inauguration, she replied, quote, I could go, maybe would go. Not necessarily looking forward to it, though. Coming up next, Sarah Palin talks to CNN about her political future, reacts to criticism that she acted like a diva on the campaign trail. We're also going to hear from the school kids whose music video about the election went viral on the internet. What do they think now that the votes are in?
Obama on the left, McCain on the right. We can talk politics all night, and you can vote however you like. I said you can vote however.
Do you want tighter, firm dabs but don't have the time to work out? Then you need the Shape and Tone system. The Shape and Tone system Sport-Elect Ab Toning Belt works and
and is effective. Using electromuscle stimulation or EMS technology, the Sportelect stimulates the muscles in your abs to tone, shape, and firm them without you having to do any exercise. You'll effectively tone, tighten, and strengthen your abdominal muscles, increase your endurance, and improve abdominal muscle tone. And it's the only product with a built-in patented contact system. Unlike other products with messy peel-off pads, Sportelect contact pads never need replacing. Today, over 2 million satisfied customers around the world are using the Sportelect to tone and firm their abs. These unretouched photos clearly show the dramatic results real people achieved in just 2 weeks. You can use the Sportelect while watching TV, in the office, walking, cooking, reading a book, all without you having to stop what you're doing to work out. You'll save time and hassle toning your abs. You do nothing. The Sportelect will do it for you.
Using the Shape and Tone system over the last 2 weeks, I've lost 3.5 inches.
After only 2 weeks of using the Sportelect, then I lost 2.25 inches.
You simply have got to try the Shape and Tone system for yourself. If you're not happy with the results, send it back. No questions asked. You've got nothing to lose by your untoned abs.
Now, we're so confident you'll love our FDA-cleared Sportelect belt that you can try it in your home, not for $300, not for $200, not even $100. You can try it before you buy it for only $14.95. Call now and you'll get the Shape and Tone eating plan and our exclusive Shape and Tone nutritional supplement, plus the Shape and Tone audio walking CD. But we're not done yet. When you pay in full today, shipping is free.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-709-5610 or go online to twosportelect.com. But hurry, this offer is limited and not available in any store, so call right now.
In a contest as long and difficult as this campaign has been, his success alone commands my respect for his ability and perseverance. But that he managed to do so by inspiring the hopes of so many millions of Americans who had once wrongly believed that they had little at stake or little influence in the election of an American president is something I deeply admire and commend him for achieving.
In his concession speech last night, John McCain took the blame for his campaign's failure. But if you ask some conservatives, his running mate may be the one who is more at fault here. After the initial post-convention honeymoon faded, Governor Sarah Palin's approval ratings plummeted. Did she drag McCain down with her? Was he being punished for his judgment in choosing her? Dana Bash asked Palin about that today, and she is live in Phoenix with more on that. And Dana, you ran into her in the lobby of the hotel this morning. You asked her whether she cost McCain. She believes she cost McCain support among key swing state voters. Let's listen to what she said.
I don't think anybody should give Sarah Palin that much credit that I would trump an economic woeful time in this nation that occurred about 2 months ago, that my presence on the ticket would trump the economic crisis that America found itself in a couple of months ago, and attribute John McCain's loss to me. But now, having said that, if I cost John McCain even one vote, I am sorry about that.
And Dana, you know, she spent so many weeks ducking reporters on the campaign trail, but it seemed like she really wanted to talk to you.
She was. She really did seem to be eager to do so. By the time I got to the hotel lobby, she already been talking to some people, and she was starting to leave. Secret Service was trying to block me, Campbell, and I called out her name thinking that she was going to blow me off, but she came right over. She definitely seemed eager to kind of get her final comments out before getting on that plane back to Alaska.
And Dan, I know you asked her about the tension within the McCain campaign between she and some of McCain aides. There's been a lot of back and forth. What did she say about that?
That's right, tension that we've been reporting on specifically, and as this basically started with some people telling us that they thought she was acting like a quote-unquote diva. She denied it. Listen.
It is absolutely false that there's been any tension, certainly from my part or my family's part. And in fact, my family who's surrounding me here, they know me. They know my values, what I stand for. They know my work ethic. They know that certainly there is absolutely no diva in me. In fact, we laugh about that criticism. And if only people, you know, come on up and travel with us to Alaska and see this diva lifestyle that I supposedly live or would demand, because it's just false.
Now, she denied there was tension, but we have new evidence tonight that there absolutely was. We can report that Randy Schooneman, who was one of John McCain's longtime aides, who was a senior foreign policy advisor, Campbell, he was fired last week because I'm told that he was, quote unquote, trashing some of the staff that had worked on Palin's rollout. And that was just some evidence of how it went all the way up to John McCain, this tension. And this was pretty major to have to fire somebody who was high up in the campaign with less than 1 week out.
Blame game well underway now. Dana Bashforth is there with Palin. Dana,
Yes.
appreciate it. When we come back, our political panel on Palin's future and the Republican Party's future.
When fire or water damage strikes your business, call the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
I'm calling to report a missing child.
From director Clint Eastwood comes a powerful true story. Time calls epic.
It's not my son.
Rolling Stone raves Changeling is a mesmerizing film.
I want my son back!
Changeling, rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Now, history comes in your size. Get your CNN.com election t-shirt today at CNN.com/election shirt.
If you have Medicare, I have 3 things you'll want to hear. There's an all-in-one Medicare health plan from Humana. It includes Medicare prescription drug coverage, and it can save you money in so many ways. It's all in this book, and it's yours free just for calling. You'll see all the ways the plan saves you money, including prescription drugs. In fact, Humana Medicare Advantage members saved on average over $1,400 on their prescription costs last year. And you get all this coverage with a monthly health plan premium that may surprise you. Even if you've looked at Humana before, you need to take another look at this plan. Call 1-800-541-2190. We'll send you the decision guide absolutely free, in a slightly smaller size, of course. Discover the all-in-one Medicare health plan that can cut your costs and cover your prescriptions. Call 1-800-541-2190 or go to humanabigbook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
Raw, honest reporting. Anderson Cooper 360, CNN Tonight, 10 Eastern.
God bless Barack Obama and his beautiful family and the new administration coming in. It is time that we all pull together and work together, and America is going to reach her destiny.
Governor Sarah Palin, warm wishes to the next president. That was before she flew home to Alaska. She leaves behind a Republican Party in peril, you could say, right now, as the GOP picks up the pieces. Let's go back to our political panel now. Gloria Borger, Roland Martin, and Alex Castellanos. Alex, you heard Dana Bash a minute ago. Blame game in full swing now. They are going after one another, pointing fingers at Sarah Palin, a lot of McCain aides. But I mean, they picked her. They vetted her. They went up there after 1 or 2 meetings and then made the case to the American people. She was qualified. She was ready. Are they scapegoating her here?
Yes.
In a word?
The answer is yes. Look, for example, your first time on the national stage, you've just been picked governor of any state, and this is your first time on the national stage. They put you for 2 hours in an interview with Katie Couric. Now, how long an interview do you usually get with a political
15
candidate?
minutes tops.
First time out, they put you on...
After they hit her, by the way, for weeks from reporters.
Right.
So that the anticipation, the
Mishandled.
expectations were
So,
ridiculous.
yeah, look, campaigns that lose, a lot of finger pointing. It always happens. You know, if the lights go out in the McCain campaign those last few days, dive for the floor, there were gunshots. we know that. Now the Republican Party looks forward. Who are our new leaders? You know, who are on the outside who can take this party forward? In Washington, a lot of people are talking about...
The party's so divided, though, right?
Can we just do this for about 30 seconds? Steve Schmidt,
No, you
Mark
got
Salter,
15 seconds.
you are embarrassing.
Oh, stop.
No, let me
It's
finish.
over.
Let me
Let's
finish.
not jump up and down on the bodies here.
Let me
I
finish
mean,
my
honestly.
point. Let me finish my point. You are the top 2 people in the campaign. She has been dogged for a couple of weeks. You would think you would come out and say, guys, look, this is ridiculous. She did her job. She was a candidate. I believe when somebody's being trashed, the leaders step up and come out and make the comment. That's my point. I'm not saying that, I'm not sitting here saying take up to the woodshed, but you assume responsibility. You don't allow that Newsweek story to just trash people like that because it's wrong. It was your candidate. You go down together.
Go ahead,
That's
Gloria.
my point.
You know, look, just because they handled her badly, which they did, doesn't mean she was a great candidate, because she wasn't.
But nobody's arguing that. But they chose her. They're the ones who vetted her.
They did choose her, and that's you know, that's really their issue. And as for whether she's going to become, you know, the future of the Republican Party, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Do you think so?
I doubt it.
For a few days. For a few brief days, she gave the McCain campaign something it couldn't find anywhere else. Anywhere else.
But the base isn't enough to win, honestly.
Well, she gave them, wait a minute, though. She gave them more than a base for a while. No. For a while, she was the populist that John McCain should have been. It took a vice presidential pick, a woman from Alaska, to give John McCain the outsider message, it speaks of the weakness of the campaign itself.
Look, there's no leadership in this party. She has a shot to come out of this, create her pack. Look, she can still do those speeches across the country. Look, she has an opportunity there, okay? She's got it. She can do it. She could step up and actually do something in the party.
Just one thing, though. Yes, the McCain campaign could have done better. You know what? Losing campaigns, there's plenty of blame to go around.
Right.
But let's remember,
woman.
What doomed John McCain was the Republican Party he had to run with. There are very few Republicans' campaign could have succeeded. Now, who's responsible for that? That's the bigger question. The McCain campaign, they fought hard. They did a pretty good job with what they had.
I think the Republican Party is kind of on the couch having an identity crisis, and with really good reason, because right now it looks like a monochromatic party, and it looks like an old party of guys.
I think this is where moderates in the party need to step up and say, look, we have an opportunity here. This is a time for leadership, and somebody can fill the space here. There's an opportunity. Somebody should do it.
Roland's advice to the Republican Party, Alex.
Oh, they'll take it. They'll take it.
Excuse me. I voted for George W. Bush and his dad, so I can say it.
Okay. Go ahead. You get the
we're
last
poised for the future. We're ready for the comeback now. Look, there's a tremendous new opportunities worldwide here to grow this economy. Both parties are talking about bottom-up. Republicans say it's individual responsibility. Obama says it differently.
You should be chairman of the party.
All right. Okay, guys, we got to end it there. To Gloria, to Roland, and to Alex, appreciate it. Thanks so much. In the spirit of too much of a good thing is wonderful, these talented kids stole our hearts just before the election. They're going to do it once again tonight. Stay with us.
Insurance means a lot of things. Obviously, it means coverage, like life insurance and car and homeowners. It can also mean a feeling, being confident about something, like your future. In times like these, I'm glad I have both.
One of the most admired companies. One of the world's most ethical companies. Highest tier of service in financial services. The Hartford. Trusted since 1810.
Will help. That'd be really old mutual. Sie haben keine Auswahl an Schokolade hier.
Es ist nicht Old Mutual.
Es ist nicht.
Es ist nicht.
This was definitely one of your more Old Mutual ideas. Need paper.
When it comes to new thinking about your financial future, are you saying Old Mutual?
Let's go ride a couple of dolphins. Now you can enjoy a dolphin play with every stay. An unforgettable opportunity to meet and greet the dolphins of Atlantis. Enjoy 2 dolphin experiences included with your special room rate, but only for a limited time. Call 1-800-ATLANTIS now for a dolphin play with every stay. 3 nights from only $2.99. Atlantis.
In an election full of celebrity endorsements, one rose above them all. Oprah, queen of all media. When she came out for Barack Obama a few months back, it was real news. Well, listen to what she had to say on her show today.
I kept my mouth shut and supported Barack Obama as a private citizen. And today, though, the election is over, and I'm unleashed!
Oprah, a happy woman today. And you remember those kids from the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta? They're the ones who took the country by storm. They were rapping about the election. Take a look.
Obama on the left, McCain on the right. We can talk politics all night, and you can vote however you like. I said you can vote however you like.
Well, we checked back in on them to find out what they think of America's new president-elect.
It feels so amazing that we have a voice and that people are listening to us.
I'm so excited about this election because it's just a unique election that will go down in history.
It just made history, y'all. That's right. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just so excited that this is the first black president. It's just great to me. I love it.
And you can't let anybody tell you that you can't do this and that, because if Barack Obama can't become the first African-American president, that means I can do.
This is just a history-making moment. I hope that now we can see beyond race and see beyond the color of someone's skin, and we can see what's on the inside, what's in their heart, and we won't judge people. And I think that the American people are doing a great job of that now because, as you can see, Barack Obama is our new president.
That is it for us. We will see you tomorrow night. Larry King right now.